We are here in this place, you understand? To make a map. A map.
Non è latinelo, Peter.
James, I do not speak Gaelic, sir.
Translations has been called by many the seminal post-colonial play. It's Brian Friel's, what's considered widely his masterpiece. It's a bit of an odd play in a way because he wrote it as the first play to be done by his newly formed theatre company, Field Day Theatre Company, which he co-founded with Stephen Ray, which was a very political company. And rather than doing something about the Troubles in Northern Ireland, which were then current, he wrote this play set back in 1830 in a sort of peasant play Irish tradition. And it's what the great benefit of that, it gives some distance to look at sort of Irish questions of language and culture and identity from some remove. And one of the really incredibly smart things he did, which in retrospect seems painfully obvious, is that though he had Irish speakers and English speakers, everyone speaks English. It's just that the people on stage don't understand one another. And so as an audience, we get to see this misunderstanding. We can see how language, all language in fact, is an act of translation. And so that even when people speak in English, the miscommunication that you and I are currently engaged in, it nonetheless comes forward.
Do you see? Smoke! Smoke! Do you see? Sure, look at what the same turf smoke has done to myself. Would you call that flaxen hair?
Of course I would.
The play is about these efforts of translation, and indeed that creates a lot of ability to get at and understand deeply the lack of communication while we try and communicate, and that wonderful theatrical ability to show communication beyond words at the same time and make it look like real communication is possible at the same time as it sort of suggests it's not. All of which sounds very lovely on the surface, and it is about sort of this rural Ireland. It's about actually a survey. They're doing there's people here doing a survey of map making. So they've come to this small village in Ireland, and they're renaming every place. So the places currently have Irish names, but that's not widely enough dispersed to be of general use to the English as well. So they're mapping, and they're making things all the same, in the same way that a dictionary works to make it a better resource for everyone, but it also elides different spellings and different name places. And here, and this is why it's particularly pertinent here to Manitoba as well, is the map that's put on the ground that's already existing is a map of English names and English places. And so something that was named in the play, Ballybiag, which is the Gaelic, becomes Ballybeg, which is an anglicization. And it's simply, there's no real town like that. It's just small town. It's Gaelic for small town. That's what it means. It's the place Friel sets most of his plays.
Might also wonder where I've got to.
I wonder, did anyone notice a sleeve?
The grass must be wet. My feet are soaking.
Your feet must be wet. The grass is soaking.
This year was a particular special year for us in the theatre company because we were doing our first full year of plays here in this brand new space, which is very exciting for us. But as a result of that, all of the faculty members who hadn't yet directed, that's myself and Bob Smith and Margaret Groom, all needed to direct in here before we could advise students on how to direct in here, because you have to learn the space. I would call myself more of a textual director, and by that I mean I tend to be more faithful to what the playwright has offered, or I try to be. At the same time, you can never be completely faithful. Every play is written for a different place and a different audience. So you're the bridge between that play and that audience. Boy, I love the coming together of it all. I started as a student, as an actor, and so I very much love the acting process, and only actually took directing classes so that I could act more in them on other people's projects. But just fell in love with listening to the music of the piece and finding so much of theater is actually about the music of the language and the rhythm of the scene change and the rhythm of the lights, dimness and brightness, and the rhythm of the sound effects, whether it's music or rain in this case, in this play, will play. I think have quite a profound effect on the feelings of the audience, and it's putting all of that together is so exciting. But I think, especially directing here on campus, but I think probably anywhere. It's this sort of this process of working through a shared giving birth to the best performance and production we can get, despite all the ridiculous challenges. But it also gave me a real appreciation for how hard everybody is working and what a labor of love it is for everyone. Students, our technical crew, both student and staff, and sort of the miracle. There is that lovely line in Shakespeare in Love. How did it come about? It's a miracle. You know, opening night seems to work. It's a miracle, and there really is that sense of miracle, and that